What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Structure. I'm your host, H. This is my
Yeah.
co host, E.
What's up? What's
And
up?
today we're talking about The Wheel of Time, Episode 5 Blood Calls Blood already.
Yes, that's right. Wheel of time, things keep turning. White cloaks turn into red cloaks. This and more. Let's dive into it. Hey, what's
Yeah, we're
going on?
back. And yo, it's been 5 episodes already.
It's amazing.
Although, they did drop, what, 3 episodes the
Yeah.
first day. So
Yeah, I was
that's
seriously
pretty good.
behind, but it's all good.
That's a good strategy, though, because if you drop 3 episodes, if you're not sure if you're going to like a show, 3 episodes will definitely hook
You may
you.
not come back the second week, but if you could binge the first three, you're like, okay, I like this series. Let's go.
No, like that's right. Sometimes you see one episode, you have to wait another week to watch another one. You might change your mind, but this show has not disappointed, at least us yet. We haven't read the books, just a full disclosure.
Yeah.
This is us talking about the show from what's happening on the show as from a fan's
Because
perspective.
because just like in eighth grade, things change. When you go into the classroom and they ask you if you read the book and you're like, yeah, but you actually watched the video and things are different, things are going to be different here too. It's all good, but we're just having fun.
Yeah, so last episode was a big one. We had a great episode, and it ended with let's call it an important character in Kareem, dying, and we have Nynaeve having an explosion of power,
Yeah,
right, which helped them defeat
big
Logain
discovery.
in a way, and then the episode opens up with them burying the people that fought and died in the battle, but I really want to start the show with Tar Valon, which is the first big city we see in this show.
Uh
We've
huh.
seen villages, we've seen abandoned cities, we've seen the forest, and we've seen camps. But now we see a big city, big commerce, rich city.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. It's a rich city because how many times have you seen an old city and when people just first walk into it? Who do you know that just walks up and hands you food for free? That doesn't normally happen. So this city
It's like
has
a
a lot of
cruise.
money. Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
you guys got in a cruise ship. I haven't. We're in Florida, so we have. So you get into the ship, they give you some food. It's great.
Yeah,
Great
you gain
experience.
10 pounds as soon as you jump
Yeah,
off of this cruise ship. It's great.
so I'll talk about that right now. It's holiday season.
It's all good. But yeah, so this city has a lot of money and actually uh, over 500,000 people, roughly give or take. And it's
Wow.
like only 7 miles long, 2 miles wide, something like that. So that's some interesting
That's
stuff.
packed. That's packed
Yeah,
jam. Yeah.
yeah. So uh, what's happening in Tar Valon? What's going on? There's multiple
So we
things.
see the city, and then we see our heroes arrive. We have Matt and Rand. And just quick note. So we talk about Matt and Rand's interactions. We see Rand. We know we based on their conversation, we know that this being a month at least since they all departed, right, to
Yeah,
arrive to the city.
yeah,
And my impression was from what happened in the previous episode that Matt was coming in here more broken, kind of depressed and sad. He seems rebellious. He seems angry, and
he's going mad.
guessing his head, he's believing that he was the one who killed those people. As I believe, when I saw the episode, we all know it looks like it was the fate because that's what Rand tells him. But they are
Yeah.
not. I think guys are 100% sure of that, and I think Matt's taking that to heart.
Yeah, to be determined on that, but there are some evidence pointing both ways. But Matt definitely believes that he killed them, and yes, he is taking it to heart. I also think that he's going mad because he possibly has
The
he's
darkness,
able
yeah.
to, yeah, he has a darkness in him. He's able to channel, and that's part of it. No male can have it without going mad. So I think that's why he was able to connect with Logain when Logain passed in the procession.
In a way, it seems like he's embracing this dark side of him.
Yeah,
At first, I thought it was gonna become like this anti-hero character, still being in the good side. But this episode showed, at least in my the way I looked at it, that he may be turning as a bad guy, right? At least he could be that guy that turns into an enemy for a little while and then comes back later on to be a good guy. But he seems like that we definitely see a change in him. We see that this
yeah,
darkness is consuming him.
yeah. They completely changed the look of his character. You can tell by the makeup, the flesh-looking face. He hasn't slept for a month, as he said, and he's on edge. Plus, he makes Rand well promise, not guarantee, promise that if he does go crazy, that he will take him out. It's a difficult promise to follow through on,
Yep.
but that's the way that he's feeling. That's what he feels inside, and he's snapping at people. And as we saw, he snapped at Nynaeve towards the end, and
Yeah.
that's who they came to the city for. Well, if her and a few other people, but she's one of them. That's not normal behavior at all. So
And the good point there. So one thing that we I noticed, even though he's in this turmoil internally, that
yeah,
he's dealing with this darkness, there's still a bond, or a bond seems to be strengthening between him and Rand, where they make that pact. You know, if it happens
yeah,
to me, I won't let it happen. You know, it happens to you. You know, let's take care of each other in a way.
exactly.
They're still strengthening that bond between them. Then we also saw in the introduction of a new character. I don't know if it's gonna be a recurrent character, but an ogre,
I
a
think he
bull
will
man.
be.
Looks like a bull, like a
Uh,
very fake bull. It
yeah,
was terrible makeup in my opinion.
I think he will be, and I think that ogre. Well, he I can't even say that he already came in handy, right? And so we'll talk about that later. But
Looks
he
like a
already
cop.
came. Yeah, he already came in handy. But I think that maybe just maybe, and we'll dive a little bit deeper. Maybe he might find a solution to Matt's issue later on. But he is a wealth of knowledge and also a hard person to get away from because he talks too much.
He has a lot of knowledge because he's read so many books. I don't know if he'll find a solution, but he might be able to have shed some more light into what's happening to Matt,
Absolutely.
in regards to his situation. Because we see that he's a bit of a smart aleck, right? He's telling Rand, well, if you or at least saying to himself, if you prepare better to what's gonna face outside, you know, you
Yeah.
probably fare off better. And he laughs, he smiles. He seems like a very charismatic character. I think we're all gonna like him
Yeah.
as the show goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's very useful, very cool, very funny. So he already came through for them, and I think there's going to be a few more times. And also, just I think that Tom is alive as well. Did you guys notice in the beginning when they first came into the city, Tom, not Tom, Rand said that they were going to go to an innkeeper because Tom told them to, and so they got the discount because that room is super expensive. So, uh,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
Tom showed up to be. There's a little mystery behind him, and the whole thing of being Gleeman fighting the fate. I think we will see. We'll see Tom again. He will definitely show up in the next few episodes. I'm sure before the season ends, we'll see him.
yeah,
I'm
definitely,
very confident in that.
definitely.
Now we see that a lot of our heroes were able to make it to the city, but we have a couple that almost made it, and that's
So
Egwene and Perrin.
close,
Yes,
yeah, so close, but they weren't able to see the
the
promised
light.
land. Yeah,
They didn't see the light.
exactly. So yeah, so they got snatched up by the Children of the Light, which was a interesting course of events. How they were taken by
By them, yeah. Like I was a little confused because they stopped this big caravan, right, of
yeah.
people,
That's what I
and
was. That's what I
out
was
of
trying. Yeah.
nowhere he looks to the side. Oh, I want those two over there, like, and
Why
then
they stick their head out? Just just get lost and stay in one of the caravans. You guys would have been good.
you know what was
Yeah.
interesting? I completely forgot that in the first couple episodes, they run into them.
Uh
They
huh.
run into him, and
Yep. And he
how
said,
this
"I won't
guy.
forget your face." Exactly.
So there's been like a month in between the time, right? Since based on the timeline that's been given to us,
Mm-hmm.
and he still remembered them exactly. He just took a little glance from far, and this guy pinpointed them,
You.
and
Yeah.
he really abuses people. They capture them.
Dude, I mean, the seekers really believe what, or Tuatha and if we want to be precise, they really believe what they say because uh, dude just watched his wife get slapped and they stayed firm in their beliefs, which was extraordinary. And so hey, listen, they helped out some friends. They allowed for Egwene and Perrin to escape. Uh, I don't know what happened to Rand. Hopefully, he's still alive. It's kind of ironic because if he's dead, his mother died from violence as well as possibly him. But hopefully, he's probably still alive. Just probably bumped his head. But those course of events are very interesting. So they find themselves Egwene and Perrin. They find themselves
In peril, yeah.
in the camp of the children of the light and in deep trouble.
No, certainly. So we see that what's his name? Is it Child Valor?
Yeah,
Baldur?
yeah, child Valda.
Child Balda. So
Yeah,
he's obsessed with taking out Aes Sedai. He asked her, you're an Aes
Th-
Sedai. She says, no, well, I know you're not because you cannot lie. But he believes that she has the power, and so he kind of makes a deal like if you're able to channel for me, I'll kill you and let him go. But if you're not,
yeah,
then I
a
kill him
whole
and you can
either
go.
or ultimatum situation where you have to pick who lives and who dies and who wants to do that, right? And
You see how he touches them. He literally was trying to play tic tac toe on this man's back. He's
yo,
making
how do
lines
you
out
do?
there.
Yeah, how do you slash
Uh,
somebody
oh,
one direction and then come back? Oh my god, that guy is brutal.
that was brutal. And then we see the wolf instinct coming into pairing, and I
Oh,
was very certain that
yeah,
he was gonna turn. I was
can
like,
we?
man, this man has the eyes. He's ready to go.
But can we talk real quick about Egwene and one of her first times channeling, apparently, and how disappointing that was. When she first threw that fire and it did nothing to the child of Valda. But wisely, she loosened the ropes of Perrin and he was able to do something and they both jumped in on child Valda. But the first time, she's channeling stuff and we're expecting something big and exciting, and it was just womp womp.
I thought she was like using that as a distraction to
Do
kind
you
of.
think so?
That's what I thought at first. I mean, I had to go back and look at it again. The
I don't
episode.
know. Maybe I just didn't get it, but it seemed like she was. But and actually, it did say one of the first times is not that extraordinary or anything like that. So I think that fell into the category where it's like she tried hard, but she still needed a little bit more practice because she was still in that training process.
Yeah, and that allowed,
Yeah.
this allowed Perrin to break free and almost tear this man apart. And right before he could do it, she used a very handy tool, a trusted tool, knife to the neck.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Shao Balda survived or not, but
I
I
think
don't
he's
know how
still
you can.
alive. I think they didn't finish him off, and he's going to come back, and he's going to have an axe to grind, and he's going to be a major problem in the future. I think that he's still alive. But one keynote that I want to point out in that scene was, and I didn't realize it until then, that Egwene grabbed the rings, the rings of
Yeah, true,
the
very true.
yeah, of the
I said that.
Aes Sedai, thank you. So many names. She grabbed the rings of the Aes Sedai, and we saw in the first scene that the rings of the Aes Sedai, we sort of knew that they were important, but there is a whole tradition and a process we see throughout the entire show that the rings must be returned to the White Tower, and if not,
Melted down, yeah.
yeah, and they must return back into the will or to the light.
The
It's a
cycle,
whole,
yeah.
yeah, the cycle, and it's if it's not at least insulting, it's bad karma, and you have Child Valda carrying all those rings around as trophies or whatever and whatnot. So kudos to Egwene for grabbing the rings and hopefully returning them back to the White Tower where they belong.
I'm actually curious to know more about the Children of the Light. How big, how strong are their forces? Because so far we only saw, because when they separated early in the show,
Yeah,
this is just a small force of the Children of the Light from the bigger army.
yeah,
How much bigger is their campaign?
yeah. That's a good question. How big they are? They sort of seem like the Puritan culture. Yeah, and phrasing, but it sort of seems like a Puritan culture where they're trying to get rid of all the witches and all the Aes Sedai, which are also witches,
Yeah, because they
and rid
believe
the
the
world.
power comes from darkness, right?
Exactly.
Mhm.
They believe that power that it comes from darkness, so they're trying to rid the world of that and make it a better place. Sounds familiar, right?
To
So
prevent evil, they commit evil things. Such a hypocritical position they
exactly, and they have the
have.
nerve to wear white, like they're so pure. It goes to their train of thought. It goes deeper into that, and they do they they are the most torturous group in the entire series
So
so
far.
far.
No, seriously, like I feel like they're a take on the Inquisition in a way.
Yes, yes, that's a good point because they are trying to cleanse everybody and take over and live the way of the light. And the way that he talks too, I am a child of Valda. There, um, the light is
Shalva,
higher. Yeah,
yeah.
the light is higher than me. Don't call me sir. I'm just a child. It's very, very interesting the way that they talk.
Now and then this takes us to we finally get to see the White Tower that's been talked about, and we thought this was gonna be shown probably towards the end of the season, but no, we got a mid-season.
Yeah,
We get to the White Tower, and we see that Moraine Land and Nynaeve made it, and but there's a lot of politics in the tower. We see that everybody's trying to get one up on each other. There's a lot of conflict, internal conflict, a lot of fake friends in
yeah,
there.
absolutely. And it is funny because you could draw a parallel between that and today or any time in history, whereas everybody's trying to rule the most powerful city or have the most power, and the same thing is going on in the White Tower, where you have Leandrin. She's sort of building parties or building friends to gain
Growing her
control.
influence,
There you go.
with different,
Growing, yeah.
as Alana was it?
Alana.
Alana mentions, she's not just growing, getting numbers within her own ranks, but
Mm-hmm.
also outside of the different colors, different
Yeah.
eyes to die. So
Yeah.
she's definitely, I think she's looking to make a play to become the leader, in the Emerald Seed. But one scene that stuck out to me was a scene of Alana and
Moraine.
Moraine in
Mm-hmm.
in her room, where she mentioned, you've been gone for the last couple of years. Where have you been? And she also makes a note that this room is fairly empty,
Yeah.
and that room, the emptiness in that room is like it feels like Moraine is so detached from everything going on in the tower. She's
She
focused on
absolutely
single
is
tasks
detached.
that she doesn't have anything that
No.
keeps her there. So that was a cool scene to me.
So
I really enjoyed
she, and
that
to
scene.
your point, she's attached because in the beginning she said, "My home is the saddle, my cloak, and my boots, and you." Talking, speaking to Lan, and then in that same scene that you were just mentioning in Moraine's room, she opens up that cabinet or whatever you want to call it, and it's a picture of a woman staring out the window. There's no windows in that room. That's symbolic of, I think, her trying to get out. She finally got out because to train to become an Aes Sedai, it could take up to 10 years in some cases. So imagine being, if that's your room, if that was her room when she first started, imagine being there for so long. You just want to get out, explore, and enjoy the world, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and we also see that Alana made a request, I guess, for Kareen's warder to become part of her warder. So she have three warders then,
Yeah.
and they'll be have a very happy married life.
Yeah, that's exactly what Alana wants is more warders. That's for sure.
Lana ain't playing. She's
Nope.
like, nope,
No.
more for me. No, she's actually doing a good thing because I think she's doing this in a hopes to they see how sad because they connect as we talked about before, as I said in the show, the
The
connection
connection.
between a warder and Aes Sedai is the closest thing you can have. And now this man has lost that connection and he is down. He's very depressed,
Yeah.
very sad, which takes him to for him to go to the extreme and commit
The ultimate act.
the
And
ultimate
so
act.
he
Yeah,
so there's some symbolism in what he did, for sure. And there we could just get into it now because one, he went to Nynaeve and he asked her for the special sleeping tea, right? And then he gave that tea to Lan, which we saw. I think that was obvious.
I completely missed that part. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did request, hey, nigga, can you give me this tea?
Mm-hmm.
And you know who ends up taking it? Land.
Land. So that shows that it was premeditated, that
Yeah,
he planned on
he
doing it
already knew
all
what was
along.
happening. He
Exactly.
knew what time it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And where Stefan ended it all was in the hall of the warders.
Yep.
That's where all the statues of past warders that continue their watch as statues beyond a in death, they continue it there, and so I think that was symbolic to say that he's still watching over them even though he's gone on to be
Yeah,
with his
good
Aes Sedai.
observation. Good
Yeah.
observation.
Hmm.
And then we see the ritual they had when the warder passes away,
Yes.
and we see how the feelings share between Lan, Moraine, and to an extension, Nynaeve. Let me ask you,
Yeah.
what was your overall thoughts on this episode compared to the last one? The last one was action packed. It was a very exciting episode. What were your thoughts on this one?
So in a series, I believe that you have to ebb and flow, right? So there's the setup and then there's the action. And I believe this is one of those situations where we just had a lot of action for the past couple of episodes. So now they have to set the baseline for a few other things or set the positioning for a few other things to come, which I think we'll soon see. I think that there's a big dynamic that's brewing between Moraine, Leandrin, and Nynaeve. They all, well, Leandrin wants Nynaeve to join the Aes Sedai, which Nynaeve doesn't want to do. Leandrin wants to,
Yeah, I think it's politicking for that. We forgot to
exactly,
mention that earlier. Yeah,
yeah. Leandrin wants to run the Aes Sedai. She wants to take over the seat of the Amerlin, excuse me,
the Emerald
take
City.
over the Amerlin seat. And Alana is trying to lobby Moraine to take it over before Leandrin takes it over because it'll look completely different. So I think this episode sets those pieces up, and I always appreciate that because I hate when TV shows just say, oh, by the way, this happened years ago. And now we're going to show you the action as a result of it. Like there's no forethought in that. So I think this episode was slow for a reason, or slower. It wasn't completely slow,
It wasn't
slower.
completely slow. It
Yeah.
was some world building, brought to the show. We
Uh
got a
huh.
new character introduced. I was hoping we get to see more Aes Sedai or get interact with some new characters in this
And they
episode.
came up. They talked about another Aes Sedai Aja color,
Yeah,
yellow.
the yellow ones. Yeah,
Yeah, they didn't say what they were about though. But at least we know. I was wondering what the colors were because I haven't read the books. So now we got blue, yellow, excuse me, blue, red, green, and yellow. So you know,
I'm
almost
not.
completing the Skittles bag
For real.
there.
No, it's very tempting to kind of search online just to get the information, but we really
Hmm.
don't want to get any spoilers on the show. And
Yeah,
don't no spoilers in the comments either, guys. Thank you for being so respectful in the comments. I know a lot of you guys alluded to some of that stuff, but don't really go into it. I really appreciate it. Just having a really fun conversation with everyone. We definitely enjoy it. We enjoy talking about the show as fans
and
and just getting to kind of discover things as fans
exactly.
as well.
Hey, and if you read the books, you can get a laugh out of us being wrong. Because I was wrong about a few things last week, but it's all good. It's
Yeah,
still
I
fun.
know we both were.
I was like, yep, gotta check that one off the list. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
But
No,
it's go ahead.
yeah, I was really hoping to get to see more of the Aes Sedai, and yeah, like we missed a couple of things. We thought we weren't gonna see the White Tower till the end of the season.
Yeah,
It came out a
they
little
immediately
earlier.
got in there, and it seems like
Yeah,
we're going to see the ambulance seat come up in the next few episodes. But hey, stay tuned. We have a predictions video coming out very soon. We also have a lore video coming out where we talk about
we're gonna
the
talk about the Aes Sedai. We're working on a little lore video about what we have learned from episode 1 to episode 5 about the Aes Sedai.
yeah,
Be on the lookout for that. We also have this weekend we are dropping a Dexter episode as well.
Dexter.
Dexter New Blood.
Yeah,
Don't forget to check it out on Sunday, I believe.
that's right.
So yeah, just stay tuned. Thank you
Until
so much again for all the comments.
Yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave us a comment what your thoughts are of this episode. And until the next episode, I'm E and this is H, and we're on structure.
That's right.
Yeah.